your ancestors destroyed it, and you're able to live good while we struggle. Do you think that's fair? Do you think that's justice for all? Now you're sitting back telling us we need to forget about it and we need to move on and let the past go, all while you're living off the past.
Apparently we're living off the past, folks. Welcome back to another video. We've been on a real tangent lately talking about black crime and black issues, but again, it keeps popping up. I'm sorry, I'm not going looking for these videos. Well, you know, sometimes in some cases I am. They keep come looking for me. So this came across my feed, this insane woman that, by the way, if this was a white person saying everything that she's saying, basically calling for a war between blacks and whites, that person would be canceled. That person's life would be ruined. They could never say white power, but this lady in this video, as we will see, is allowed to say black power, and that's always something that confuses me as a white person. I always wonder, why is it that every other race, Jewish people, black people, Asian people, whatever, they're allowed to be proud of their race, they're allowed to be proud of their culture, they're allowed to, you know, have power movements for their culture and identify with their culture, but when white people do it, for some reason, it's criminal. For some reason, that's wrong. For some reason, that's a no-no. Why is that? Why is that? Well, apparently she has some choice words for white people, seeing as we're in a time where the Overton window is really shifting, cancel culture is slowly dying. People say it's dead, but go out and try to say something controversial, I guarantee you it's not dead. But it's on its way out. It is possibly in the middle of dying. Okay, so cancel culture is dying. What has died on a large scale is white guilt. What has died is white people allowing a few people of color to use buzzwords and guilt trips to make us not even take up for ourselves. Finally, that has changed. I think there was several incidences that made this happen, one of which was the Carmelo incident. Carmelo Anthony, of course, who unalived Austin Metcalf. That was one of the precipitating events that has really changed how white people view themselves and how they view this whole race issue in general. They're done. They're done being told that we're bad, and they're done having the past be thrown at us as if we ever did anything. You've never been a slave, and I've never owned a slave. By the way, I wouldn't have wanted to own a slave either. They seem quite lazy, and they seem like they would just raise hell on the plantation. So it doesn't seem like a great deal to me anyway. So let's go through this entirety of this video and just see what she has to say. Let's see what black folks are up to. This is what they're up to.
I'm never going to forget about it. Just know that. It's war. Black power forever. So I just want to be clear about something. I do understand that the white man who exists today in America is not the white man who did all of the horrible things to our ancestors, but...
Wow, I'm glad you acknowledged that. Thanks for getting that out of the way. By the way, I'm screaming and pitching a fit about oppression. I do realize slavery never happened to me or my aunts or my grandparents or my great-grandparents, and you've never owned a slave, but I'm still mad about it.
You do have to understand that you are the descendants of those people who did all of those horrible things to our ancestors.
By the way, if you got a problem with why your ancestors came here, take it up with your ancestors. They literally sold each other into slavery, okay? Black people rounded up other black people. They sold them to Jews, and Jews brought them to the United States. So they started the slave trade. Okay? We didn't. We actually wanted nothing to do with it, but it was kind of foisted upon us, and now we are forever suffering the consequences of having people from that continent be here. And now every day, we get to suffer the consequences of that. So actually, I've got a grudge. I've got a beef with your people because your people started the slave trade. So take it up with them, not with me.
Now benefit from all of the things that were done to our ancestors. Whether
you know what she's saying here, you're benefiting because there's this black trope within the community that they built America. Oh, I'm sorry, picking cotton for what, 50 years? I don't know how long slavery was. I should know this. Picking cotton for a few years isn't building the country. The country was already built when you got here, okay? The country was already developing at a rapid rate when you guys got here. You picked some cotton, you plowed some fields, okay? You didn't build the America that we know it today. Certainly not. And all these black inventions that you guys claim to have invented, you didn't do that either.
You want to admit that or not, this is the truth. We were building our generational wealth to pass it down to our children and to our grandchildren, and your ancestors destroyed it all.
Oh, are you talking about Black Wall Street? Are you talking about that? Guess that was another fallacy, actually. You want to build Wakanda? This is always a recurring theme with these people. They talk about, we were just, it's like that person that like played rec ball in college, and they were like, yeah, I was supposed to make the team. I was going to go pro, but then I twisted my ankle right at the last minute. You know, we were supposed to go pro. Isn't it like the same thing that's going on with these folks? Every time it's like, we were on the cusp of an amazing civilization, and then white men just came in and took it over. Oh, really? Is that why Africa looks exactly the same as it did 1,000 years ago? Really? That's all white people's fault? I don't think so. I don't really think so. And if that is the case, go for it. Nobody's holding you back. You have every advantage in the world. There's black loans for black business owners. They get so many breaks, so many handouts, and so many hand-ups for being black. So if you were capable of building Wakanda, if you were capable of building all of this, you would have done it. So I'd like you to stop talking about what you were going to do and start doing it. Well, you're too busy shooting each other up in the streets of your own hoods and your own neighborhoods. You're too busy destroying your own neighborhoods to get to building Wakanda.
Every time we built something, they came and they tore it down while they were able to build up theirs. You were able to build your generational wealth, and now you, the descendants of those ancestors, are able to thrive and have.
This is the face of a person who's mad that she lives in the hood. And anytime she goes to town or drives into the city, she drives past the really nice neighborhoods and the brick houses. And she just is like, you know what? It's not because I'm shitty. It's not because I work at McDonald's. It's not because I am not motivated. It's because they stole that from us. Actually, that house is stolen from us. That's the reason I'm not doing well. You know, like, have you been to a trailer park? As if all white people are just billionaires. There's more poor white people than there are poor black people. Have you checked out Appalachia anytime soon? Check out Appalachia and see how well the white people are doing.
Your businesses and your deeds to pass down to your children because no one had it.
By the way, nice acting, okay? I think it was Gavin, my boss over at Censored TV. He was saying how black people in movies, they really overact. He calls it blackting. And that's exactly what she's doing here. She's like overacting, being extra dramatic to, I guess, distract us from the fact that she's out to lunch.
Enough power to destroy what your ancestors built for you. My ancestors.
Like, could this be any less genuine? This is the most disingenuous video I've ever watched. You don't even believe what you're saying.
Ancestors tried to build something for me, and your ancestors destroyed it. And
okay, tough shit. A lot of us have had stuff destroyed. Let's assume everything she's saying is true. That was what, 200 years ago? How about you start rebuilding now? Or are you just too busy trashing McDonald's?
Able to live good while we struggle. Do you think that's fair?
Do you think that's fair? What is wrong with this person?
You think that's justice for all? Now you're sitting back telling us we need to forget about it and we need to move on. And
maybe a little moving on would do you a good thing. Maybe you could start building that Wakanda of your dreams instead of being on TikTok telling everybody, I don't know, white people are the reason why you're poor. White people are the reason why you run around in slides and shower caps. That's our fault too, by the way. Their horrible fashion, that's our fault because I guess they can't afford real clothes.
Let the past go, all while you're living off the past. You're thriving and benefiting off the past. You're able to give things to your children from the past.
That's because white people are responsible. They go to college, they get out of college, they work their ass off. And by the way, this is a misconception. People see these houses. There's not that many people who actually have generational wealth. And by the way, the generations that did get inheritances, that's kind of like dying out. That's not a thing anymore. Nobody is leaving anything to their kids. Nobody has anything, thanks to the economy, thanks to the country crashing and burning, okay? But these people who have nice houses and nice things, they work really hard for those things, and they barely ever even get to utilize them. They work all the time. They work overtime. They're at the office late. They come home at night. They leave at 4:30 in the morning. Okay, these people work really hard for the things that they have. And people like this who don't work hard, they just want everything handed to them. That's the problem. These people want to do nothing, and they want everything handed to them. And then they're angry when they see somebody driving a nice car, and they don't even think about the fact that that person is responsible. They gave up all their time to have fun and go clubbing and whatever, to be industrious and stick to business and work their way up in a company, and now they're CEO, and now they have a nice house. Well, you know how much work that actually took for them to get that position and get that house and get that boat and get that Mercedes? It took a lot of work. It wasn't just handed to them. They actually worked for it. So this is, I mean, at the end of the day, this is all just, she's just jealous. She's just mad that she doesn't have a nice house and that she lives in the hood. Well, whose fault is that?
While we can't, and you want us to move on while you're not even sorry. You're not even acknowledging.
Why would I be sorry for something I didn't do? Why would I be sorry for something you started? Your people started the slave trade. Why would I be sorry? Why would I apologize for that? You owe me reparations. I never wanted your people here. Why are you guys here? Oh, right, because of your people.
What your ancestors have done because you're so busy trying to separate yourself from the animalistic beast. So busy.
And I wonder why. Why on earth would anyone not want to live around you? Maybe because you're acting like this? Maybe because you trash everywhere you go? Maybe because there's constantly domestics going on in your house and you have pit bulls that could come out and attack my child? I can name a few, actually.
Trying to say that wasn't us. That was the Democrats. That wasn't us. You can't blame us. All while you're able to reap the benefits of our blood, of our sacrifice. It was you because you have their soul in you. And we're not ever going to move on or forget about anything.
Well, I guess you have the soul of a slave trader in you because it's your people who started that. Let's just keep hammering that home. Doesn't get brought up enough.
Until you make it right by paying what you owe.
What did I tell you? I've never even watched the whole video through. I just knew it was going to be gold. And there we go, folks. And what did I say? When we first started, this is all just jealousy because she perceives that we have something and she doesn't. And she's angry. She's mad. She's mad that white people have something, a select few. By the way, a lot of white people are struggling, working paycheck to paycheck. A lot of people work at McDonald's too. Difference is they don't trash it when the fry's the wrong temperature. And now what is she asking for? Pay up. I want more handouts. More handouts? Wow, okay. Unfortunately, you're a day late and $1 short, ma'am. Because the day of DEI is over. The day of white people buying into this is over. You used to get a bunch of white people who would literally bend down and kiss your boots. People don't care anymore. So, you know, I guess play the card while you have it, but it ain't working no more. You ain't getting your reparations. It ain't gonna happen, sister.
Until you give us everything that you have stolen, until you pay us everything that you took, we're not ever going to forget about it. Just know that. It's war. Black power forever.
Wow. Okay. Okay then, thank you for telling us exactly how you feel. This is not about race. This is not about slavery. This is not about injustice. These people don't care. These people just want a Gucci bag. These people just want a check. They just want a handout and they want us to pay for it. And the only reason they keep on bringing up slavery is because they've been programmed and trained. If I bring this up, I get things. So I'm going to keep on plugging away at this vein. So again, the way that we fight back against this is to just ignore it and laugh at it. We have to laugh at these people. We have to separate ourselves from these people whenever they pose a threat to us. And we have to laugh at them, okay? Because it's just genuinely funny. It's just genuinely funny. I'm sick of hearing about it. No, you weren't going to make the team. No, you weren't going to go pro. You just suck, actually. And no, Wakanda is not a thing. Wakanda will never be a thing. And if you note, any country where they kicked out all the whites, it's a shithole now. So, there's that. There's that. Anyway, folks, that's the video. I hope you enjoy it. Don't forget to like and subscribe this video. It really helps us get the word out. It helps us get the word out. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.